The assembly rose as a body and brought Jesus before Pilate. They were accusing him of things he didn't do. Then Pilate asked him,
"Are you the king of the Jews?"
He answered,
"Those are your words."
Then Pilate said to the chief priests and the crowds,
"I don't find him guilty of anything."
But they kept on saying,
"He has been teaching and causing trouble all over Judea. He started in Galilee and has come all the way here."
Pilate then called together the chief priests, the leaders, and the people, and said to them,
"You brought Jesus to me and said he was a troublemaker, but I have questioned him here in front of you, and I have not found him guilty of anything you say that he has done. This man does not deserve to be put to death."
But the whole crowd shouted,
"Kill Jesus! Give us Barabbas!"
Now Barabbas was in jail because he had started a riot in the city and had murdered someone. Pilate, wanting to release Jesus, tried to speak to them again, but they kept shouting,
"Crucify him! Crucify him!"
The people kept on shouting as loud as they could for Jesus to be put to death. Finally, Pilate gave in. He freed the man who was in jail for rioting and murder because he was the one the crowd wanted to be set free. Then Pilate handed Jesus over for them to do what they wanted with him. As Jesus was being led away, some soldiers grabbed hold of a man from Cyrene named Simon. He was coming in from the fields, but they put the cross on him and made him carry it behind Jesus. 2 criminals were led out to be put to death with Jesus. When the soldiers came to the place called the Skull, they nailed Jesus to a cross. They also nailed the 2 criminals to crosses, one on each side of Jesus. Then Jesus said,
"Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing."
While the crowd stood there watching Jesus, the soldiers gambled for his clothes. The leader insulted him by saying,
"If he saved others, now he should save himself if he really is God's chosen Messiah."
Above him there was a sign that said, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals hanging there also insulted Jesus by saying,
"Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and save us."
But the other rebuked him, saying,
"Don't you fear God? Aren't you getting the same punishment as this man? We got what was coming to us, but he didn't do anything wrong."
Then he said,
"Remember me when you come to power."
Jesus replied,
"I promise that today you will be with me in paradise."
Around noon, the sky turned dark and stayed that way until the middle of the afternoon. The sun stopped shining, and the curtain in the temple split down the middle. Jesus shouted,
"Father, I put myself in your hands."
Then he died.
When the Roman officer saw what happened, he praised God and said,
"Certainly, this man was innocent."
The crowd had gathered to see the terrible sight. Then after they had seen it, they had felt brokenhearted and went home. All of Jesus' close friends and the women who had come with him from Galilee stood at a distance and watched.